This is something that we've just implemented within the last few years and kind of spawned from the work that John Hattie in Visible Learning, he talks about, I think one of the effects that he looks at is reported grading. And so for intervention, we kind of took that as goal setting and having those data chats with not only groups of students, but individually with the students that they serve. So at the elementary level, it's not uncommon for a teacher to have 7, 8 small groups that they run through throughout a school day, which can be a lot of record keeping, a lot of progress monitoring data to sift through, and it can be challenging, but we do ask for them to take a few minutes weekly to meet with their students and have these goal setting opportunities or these data chats. And so I don't think I mentioned earlier, but about every other week, we mentioned we have 113 academic interventionists. Ashley, Janice, and I try to have a video that we send out to them, try to keep it short because we know they're busy and they have a lot on their plates. But all of these things that we're talking about today are always good reminders. I always joke that laundry is near and dear to my heart in my home because I do the laundry every week. And it's kind of the same process as RTI. Every Saturday I'm thinking, man, I don't want to do the laundry, and every Saturday it's waiting on me. So we have good processes and procedures, and it seems to, at points in the year, there's always good reminders. But goal setting and data chats is something that we talk about pretty much every time that we meet with them as good reminders, whether that's a mid-year goal that we're looking at for that student at the beginning of the year. Right now, we're in the process of, I think we have 13 instructional days until our state testing window opens. And so a lot of times we have to remind our interventionists, like, hey, this third grader is going to be taking an 80-minute subtest in English language arts. They've probably never had that opportunity in the first 150 days of this school year. So, creating some activities where you're building stamina with that kid is going to be super important. But we also want them to create end of year goals. We want them to be reasonable, but we also want to challenge them. Again, like I mentioned earlier, we're asking a lot of our interventionists. If they just make 1 year's growth in 1 year's time, we're not going to close that gap. So they have to make more than 1 year, and we do strive for that each year. We talk about stretch goals, which is just what I just talked about, trying to really stretch that student and make that more than 1 year's growth. And then we put it in blue here at the bottom, but sometimes we forget when we're creating these goals or when we're looking at this data, we're forgetting to talk to the most important person, and that's the student. So are you communicating these goals with that student as you're having these data chats with them?